The Biden administration has embarked on a significant overhaul of U.S. asylum policy at the U.S.-Mexico border. These changes signal a departure from the previous administration's approach, sparking debate. Proponents laud their potential for order, while critics raise concerns about their impact on vulnerable populations. Biden's approach aims to streamline the asylum process while deterring irregular migration. By creating more legal pathways, the administration hopes to reduce dangerous journeys. This approach balances humanitarian obligations with border integrity. Critics argue it fails to address systemic issues like poverty and violence. They contend it risks turning away those in genuine need of protection. The coming months will be crucial in determining the effectiveness of Biden's approach. The new policies will have far-reaching consequences for migrants and border communities. The true impact will reveal if they create a more humane and orderly system. The Biden administration's new asylum policies represent a pivotal moment in U.S. immigration policy. Central to the Biden administration's new approach are stricter asylum eligibility requirements. These guidelines make it more difficult for individuals to qualify for asylum if they have passed through another country where they could have sought protection. This transit ban aims to encourage migrants to seek asylum in the first safe country they reach. Another key element is the expansion of legal pathways for migration. Programs allow individuals from specific countries to apply for humanitarian parole from their home countries. This provides a safer and more orderly alternative to irregular migration. To expedite the asylum process, the administration has increased the number of asylum officers and immigration judges. The goal is to ensure that asylum claims are adjudicated fairly and efficiently. Officials maintain that the previous administration's policies were cruel and ineffective. They believe that a more humane and orderly approach is essential to addressing the challenges at the border. The Biden administration argues that these measures are necessary to restore order and humanity to the U.S. immigration system. The rollout of Biden's asylum policies has been met with a mix of praise and criticism. Human rights groups argue that the new restrictions violate international law and could put vulnerable asylum seekers at risk. Legal challenges have already been mounted against some of the administration's policies. Advocacy groups contend that the changes were implemented hastily and without proper public notice. Despite these challenges, the Biden administration defends its approach, arguing it is necessary to address the unprecedented number of migrants arriving at the border. The legal and ethical debates surrounding Biden's asylum policies are likely to continue for months, if not years, to come. In the months since their implementation, Biden's asylum policies have had a mixed impact on the ground. While apprehensions at the U.S.-Mexico border have decreased, it remains unclear whether this is directly attributable to the new policies or other factors. Critics argue that the policies have had unintended consequences, such as migrants being stranded in dangerous Mexican border cities. The stricter asylum rules have also made it more difficult for individuals with legitimate claims to access protection. The expansion of legal pathways has been limited in scope, raising concerns about equity and access to protection. The long-term impacts of Biden's asylum policies remain to be seen. Continued monitoring and evaluation will be crucial to understanding the full implications of these changes. It is too early to definitively assess their effectiveness in deterring irregular migration or creating a more humane and orderly asylum system. The influx of migrants has put a significant strain on border communities and resources. Shelters are overwhelmed, and local organizations are struggling to meet the demand for food, clothing, and medical care. The situation is particularly dire in border cities, where resources were already stretched thin. The Biden administration has pledged to provide additional funding and support to border communities. Law enforcement agencies tasked with border security are also feeling the pressure. The increase in migrant encounters has stretched their resources and manpower. The situation at the border highlights the need for comprehensive immigration reform. Failure to address these issues will likely result in continued challenges and humanitarian crises at the border. For many migrants making the perilous journey to the U.S., the new asylum policies represent a significant setback. Families fleeing violence and persecution now face an agonizing choice: risk a dangerous journey through Mexico or remain trapped in precarious situations. The uncertainty and fear are palpable in migrant camps and shelters along the border. The stories of migrants caught in this web of policy changes are heartbreaking. These personal stories underscore the human cost of the ongoing debate over immigration policy. Behind the statistics are real people with hopes, dreams, and an inalienable right to seek safety and a better life. The challenges at the U.S.-Mexico border are complex and multifaceted, defying easy solutions. The Biden administration faces the daunting task of balancing competing priorities, upholding humanitarian obligations, protecting national security, and addressing the root causes of migration. Finding a sustainable solution requires a multi-pronged approach. This includes increasing humanitarian assistance to countries in Central America and working with regional partners. Comprehensive immigration reform is also necessary to provide a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants and secure the border. Addressing the challenges at the border will require a sustained commitment from both political parties and a willingness to engage in constructive dialogue. As the Biden administration continues to grapple with the complexities of the U.S.-Mexico border, several key questions remain unanswered. Will the new asylum policies effectively deter irregular migration while ensuring protection for those fleeing persecution? How will the administration address the concerns of human rights groups and legal challenges to its policies? The answers to these questions will shape the future of asylum in the United States. The coming months and years will be crucial in determining the long-term impact of these changes. The Biden administration has taken on a daunting task, and the world is watching to see how it will navigate this complex and evolving situation.